Hello, it's Tina Marie, and welcome to the Light Your Life podcast. Today, I would love to have a conversation about one of my favorite books. This book was given to me at approximately the age of 9, as far as I can recall, by my father. And he gave me a couple books in my lifetime that were very special to him. And this book, he let me know, was one that really instilled how he would cultivate his own value, understand who he was and what he brought to the world. And it blended not only business, because he was all about business and understanding how to be successful in the world of money, but also it blended the spiritual side of his knowing. And I love that my father was a very spiritual man. He believed in contribution, helping other people, and always looking outside of ourselves to see where we could be of assistance and service. Both of these foundational belief systems he instilled in me, the understanding and the pursuit of your own financial independence, and that you are the creator of your destiny financially and do not need to wait on other people to give you that handout. And then the other was that we are a spiritual being in a physical world, and we would hold that perspective that we are an instrument of God working in the world in that servitude mindset, very humbly. And I watched my father be that in the world. The him of his being, he completely demonstrated it. So the book that he gave me, when he first gave it to me, I remember being interested. However, many of the concepts did not sink in. They were illusory at the time. You would have to imagine, to a young mind, it's just simply words. And as I grew familiar with the content and then reestablished a connection with it later in my high school years and definitely through college, things started to make sense. So let me introduce you. If you do not already know about the book, Think and Grow Rich, this book is powerful. Now, the copy that my father gave me whenever I was little, unfortunately, I have not been able to find. And, I wish I had that very copy. However, I remember the cover very well. It was a green on ivory, basically like a tealish green cover. And on eBay, I've seen some of them circulating about, so I'm probably going to go grab one that's in good condition. Wouldn't be interesting if the one that was given to me by my father and dedicated within the front cover makes its way back to me. That would definitely be a Think and Grow Rich act in itself. So the want today is to help you understand one of the base foundational thinkings that is very soon introduced in the Think and Grow Rich book, and what it means. I'd love to have a discussion about it today, and then invite you to pick up a copy. And if you've already read it in the past, this is a great invitation to reread and become familiar with the work again, because I've read this book at least 40 times over my lifetime. And each time I digest it, it speaks to me in a new way. But more than that, life opens up in a new way. Opportunities open up, serendipity opens up, coincidence, people come into my life that are on purpose that I would have otherwise not been able to connect with, because there's some other invisible substance or intelligence working its way through each one of us. And so the book itself is like an opening with one of your best business partners to go out there and find those opportunities and bring them to your doorstep. So I invite you to definitely open up the pages and start reading again. So I'm in the place where it's going to be giving us the statement of desire, is what it's known of. And it's chapter 2, appropriately titled Desire, the starting point of all achievement, the first step toward riches. So I'm going to jump over to the actual formula that Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, lays out for us. And if you are inclined, there are workbooks in the marketplace that you can find that will take you through this formula and allow you to do the work yourself. And so let's begin. We're going to begin with step number 1. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into a financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps. So I want to, one, touch on the word transmuted. It's not a word that we tend to use in today's lexicon very easily or frequently. So to me, it's how do we create? How do we take the desire for which those things that we have within our soul, be it definite riches that we can monetarily put a figure to, or the possession of something that would indicate that those riches would have already been received, such as I have in my heart and my soul to own a specific home on the shore of Lake Tahoe on Lakeshore Boulevard, and I understand in my mind's eye how to get to this property. I have many times in the imagination of my mind using one of the faculties and chapters that is written here in Think and Go Rich. I've boarded a plane and landed in Reno, and have taken a car, an automobile from the Reno airport through Reno into the hills, into the mountains, and I've definitely driven in my mind. Physically, I've driven, honestly, many times. However, I know this pathway and the the switchbacks through the mountain and the coming out through a certain passageway to get to Lake Tahoe, and then I know the way to this property. And so I drive this. In fact, just this morning, whenever I awoke here in Houston, I took my dog out to have her go to the restroom. And as I was going down the stairs, instead of going down the stairs of my current home, I was going down the stairs of my home in Tahoe. And I was putting on my galoshes, the similar, if not the same pair of galoshes I will be putting on in the foyer of my home in Tahoe. And I was putting her leash on, knowing that the smells that I was smelling, if you've ever been in a lakeside home, or one that has snow around it from time to time, there's like a musty smell that goes into the wood. And so I smelled that smell deeply within myself, and then I imagined opening that door and unlocking it. And as I emerged from the home that I have here in Houston, I instead saw within my mind's eye the picture of being in Tahoe and emerging from the house there. And I put myself in that energetic imagination, in that space of walking my dog in that front yard area of the very home that I've seen many times and have known that I want to possess. So in wanting to possess that particular home, there are riches that are needed to be accumulated, and they require that within the transactional space that we live in, the law of circulation with money. And so part of my statement of desire includes these imaginary resources, these disciplined visits that I have within my mind's eye of the things that I will possess, given the riches that will be brought because of the activities I'm doing now. So with that as an example, I share step one, statement of desire. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as to the amount. There is a psychological reason for definiteness, which will be described in a subsequent chapter. And so I'm going to reread this step one, statement of desire. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. So in order to get to this place, what I've done, and it's worked many times, so I give you my example so you can also use this, is that I track those things that I want to achieve, be it the office that I'm sitting here and knowing what that amount of money would be on a monthly basis to pay the lease, be it the car that I'm driving and understanding what that amount is to pay that for that vehicle and the maintenance of that vehicle and the sustenance of that vehicle in my life, be it the house that I'm living in, be it the clothes that I wear, or the experiences that I have in my life. There are monetary equivalents to the experiences that each and every one of us have. And so those monetary equivalents, if you're wanting to accumulate that, you would sum it all up. Now, I run on a budget. And to me, growing up, a budget sounded like a rule-based system that was more of protecting what I don't have instead of protecting what I will get. And since I've grown and matured and evolved, a budget for me is that place that is giving me the actual understanding of how much I am creating to have the lifestyle and the fortitude of what I want to experience. So it's not a bad word anymore. In fact, it's a disciplinary tool to exact and measure and create monetarily the effect of that the first step here in the statement of desire that I want. So, how I would invite or suggest you do so is um, to get a budgetary worksheet, which we have these resources on our website at bonfire.com, bonfirecoaching.com. You go to bonfirecoaching.com and there are resources there for you. And in our budgetary spreadsheet, it literally lays out everything under the sun that you could possibly spend money on in your daily budget or monthly budget for a household or a business. And so find what your current is, your current state is, what is your lifestyle? And then stretch. What would you love? What would you love? What would you love your lifestyle to be? Now, sometimes we meet with that inner saboteur that says, you can't get there that fast. Hold on, wait a second. I invite you to dream, because if you do not dream and you do not stretch, then you will not get. I guarantee it. If we live within the confines of boxing ourselves in monetarily and financially with the law of circulation, and we almost punish ourselves to not get to where we would love without going through some type of trap door or fiery substance before we can earn that, then we limit ourselves. So I urge you to allow yourself to stretch. If you really want this isn't that pie of the sky. Oh yeah, I'll take that. Oh yeah, I'll take that too. And oh yeah, that'd be fun. You have to really desire it. You have to have a fire within your belly, a fire within your soul, a vision within your mind of possessing it and wanting it so clearly that you are able to live it right now in your imagination. So in step one, that exact amount of money that you're wanting is a lifestyle, if you're wanting to have the entire encompassing effect of that. Or if it is, say, I want a new vehicle, then you go and you test drive that new vehicle and you understand what that's going to be. And you sit down with a finance person to understand what that amount of money will be. And you understand what that payment will be and the down payment will be. And you understand all the working faculties of that transaction. And then if you do not yet have the financial means to do so, you then get busy to use this statement of desire to create that outcome. That's how it goes. And so you have all the data, you'll know it. And so you start seeing in your mind's eye the possession of that money. So let me get to step two, and it'll make more sense. Step two, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. So, yes, we want something. There will be a transaction of you serving a purpose for someone, something that needs something of you. You're going to create that outcome. And again, law of circulation abides, and it tells you that you will set that price for that service so that you receive that money, that financial circulation back into your lifestyle, so that you can then put that money toward the outcome that you have in your mind's eye, right? Let me tell you another example, something that happened to me. So I had properties and I wanted to pay the taxes. The taxes for those properties, the property taxes were coming up, and I had not properly escrowed 100% of the tax responsibility that I had. And I wanted to pay those taxes on time ahead of time in current year, as opposed to paying them in the next year, which I'd have 15 days to do so within January. So I wanted to take all of that, the tax responsibility, and do it in current year to, one, check mark that, and then it looked better on my books. So I knew that the amount of money that I was short was $15,000, thereabouts. So it was probably like $15,200. And in order to create that, I wanted to make that happen soon. And so I had meditated on that. I used my imagination, the faculty, one of the other chapters here in Think and Grow Rich, to use the very workings that this book had impressed upon me in my youth, and I'd used many times over. And on my desk that particular morning, after my meditation, which I did sitting at my desk, my mind was given the attention to the left-hand corner of my desk, which was a pile, and it still serves to be the pile of to-dos that I'm doing either that day or that week. And on top of that pile was a ticket. And that ticket was something that I had won. So I had already put in work. I'd already given the step two, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money that you desire. Interestingly enough, these things hadn't been paired up as of yet until that morning. My desire for the money and the work that I'd already done to secure the money. The ticket was to a raffle that was happening that evening. And the grand prize, which I turned over the ticket and looked on the backside, the grand prize for that raffle was a vehicle. Now, I did not need another vehicle in my possession. I love the one that I had. However, what I knew immediately was that that vehicle had a monetary equivalent in our world, meaning that had I, and I knew I was going to win that vehicle, then I would then take the cash equivalent instead of taking possession of the car itself. So I knew in my heart that given that this is my vision, this is my want, this is how much I need. And I knew that whenever my mind was directed to the attention of the pile and on top was that ticket, that it was my destiny that day to win that vehicle. So what do I do to continue the energy instead of just hoping that I win that vehicle? I got busy. Things that I did. I wanted to confirm that I needed to be present to win because it's not always necessary in a raffle or in a prize winning situation. And I did. I confirmed that I did need present to be present to win. Second, I went and I decided what I wanted to wear because I knew that once you win the grand prize in the vehicle at this particular um, dinner conference gala, that you'll be popular pretty fast and that there will be pictures taken. And, part of me loves to look good. And so I wanted to know what I was going to be having my picture taken in. Then I started to get familiar with the car, Googling it, understanding what the car is about and that particular model so that I could imagine myself in it. Whenever you win a vehicle, typically they want to take a picture of you in the driver's seat. And so I wanted to picture myself very efficiently, making all details of it be known in my mind's eye that we are winning this car this evening. And I set forth that that day it was going to happen. Frequently, each hour I would spend 2 to 3 minutes in the imagination faculty of knowing that this car was now in my possession and that I would be receiving the monetary equivalent and keeping my word that I would use that monetary equivalent to then pay the taxes because that was the entire ritual that I was starting this process for. So another, asterisk on step 2 is that whenever you fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire, you're going to have a reason why you want to desire that, and you're going to have a plan to it. Step 2 is to determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money. First, I'd already given my service. It was a volunteer effort that I had raised an amount of money, and I had contributed to the betterment of this particular organization with 1 million meals for children. And in doing so, this ticket was something of a prize already to myself for that activity. The second is that I was going to stay consistent within my mind's eye for the activity that I was going to be participating in that evening and winning the ticket. And that the third thing was that once I won the vehicle, I would do, as I said, is I would take the monetary equivalent and pay the taxes. If we change our minds, which is a problem for many people. I know that I've done this too. I will put into my mind the exact amount of money that I desire, and then I'll start taking the actions and I'm going, well, maybe I want to make this much money. Maybe I'll do this with it. Maybe I'll do that with it. Maybe I need to make this much money. What if that doesn't work? And I start questioning the process, or I start going off script, so to speak. Whenever that happens, I create more confusion in the universe, and you will not, I guarantee, will not reap the rewards of your actions. You will not create the outcome. You will not have it work. And so many times, whenever we do the very thing that we know, we get hopeful on things expanding more than what we would want. That exact amount of money, well, maybe instead of 500,000, I'd like 1 million. So if I'm going to put this much energy into creating 500,000, why don't I just put that much energy into creating 1 million? You've now, with what they say in Ghostbusters, you have now crossed the beams, which means that you've created confusion. You've created chaos in the universe of creation, and we do not want to do that. So let me get to step 3. And as we go all the way to step 6, we'll get more clarity together. Step 3. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Back to my example. I knew I wanted to possess that money ASAP because I wanted to pay those taxes within a couple days. So theoretically, I knew that I'd be able to get to a dealership because this particular event took place on a Saturday evening. So I did the time mapping in my mind. I win the vehicle tonight. I came with my own vehicle, so I'm not going to drive the vehicle away. There's probably paper processing and all that that's required at the dealership that has given the vehicle to the establishment that's raffling it off. So I said, dealerships are typically closed on Sundays. I will give myself till Monday to get to the dealership. I'm going to transfer the title. Instead of taking possession of the car, I will take the monetary equivalent. Hopefully, they'll be able to give me that money that day. And if not, then I will possess the money within a couple days of that transaction if they need to cut a check from the dealership. So I was doing a time map, and I gave myself till Thursday to possess the money, to go to the bank, to put the money in the bank, and then I would pay those taxes on Friday. So from Saturday winning the vehicle to Friday paying the taxes 100% in full is the time mapping I gave to my imagination. So that exact date, the definite date I intended to possess the money, was Thursday. The exact date that I intended to transfer that money and seal the deal on what I required the money for, which was in the step 1 and 2, was Friday. So I gave myself 100% ownership on these dates. Fourth step in the statement of desire from Think and Grow Rich is create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once. Whether you are ready or not to put this plan into action. Man, this is probably the most important step, I tell you. So, four, this is so cool. Oftentimes we get ideas. Don't you get ideas? You get brilliant ideas that are energized, and we do nothing with them. We talk to people about them, but that's not energy. That's dispersion of energy. And so what it says here in step 4 is that you get a definite plan and carry out your desire begin at once. Once you understand what you're going to transfer or put into the law of circulation for making this happen, be it a digital product you're going to be creating, be it a book you're going to be writing, be a new job you're going to get, be a side hustle you're going to get, be it something you're going to sell and reap the money for. Whatever it is, that action, that vision, you have to begin at once, which means immediately, which means right now. And so what do you mean, Tina Marie, if you're going to begin right now? Right now equals write things down, form a plan, take a step, make a definite action, set into the course some actionable thing that is utilizing the energy that's coming through you for the idea and make something happen. In this case, for the winning of the car, I did it and I wanted the money that day. So I wanted that transaction. I wanted to win the car so that would all set in place the course of events that would allow me to actually be in possession of the actual money. And I've done this before, not just with winning the car. I've done this so many times. Sometimes it's hard to even think of examples because this is something that I do inherently anytime I want to create something. Anytime I want to, as Napoleon Hill says, transmute the idea into a physical possession of money, I use this formula, steps 1 through 6, to make it happen. I write down my statement of desire. I call it my SOD. And I write down that statement of desire and I execute immediately and every single day. So if you have very heartfelt, soul-felt goals, dreams, wants, longings, desires inside of you, the bigger they are, the more they touch your soul, you must act on them every day. Put breath into them, put attention into them, take an action, make progress happen every single day. The more you do that, the more disciplined you become, the more that persistence of the activity ends up being like using a muscle. When you're going to gain muscle or lose weight, something of that nature, you know that we do not simply work out once a week. It's not going to get us to our result. We do things every day. And if you really want that result, you're going to do it multiple times a day. So how badly do you want your result? It's going to determine the action and the activities and the focus that you place on obtaining that result, that desire. So again, step 4 was and is create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not to put this plan into action. That's another piece in that statement. This is ripe with amazing wisdom. It says here, whether you are ready or not. So many times our lower mind, what we know this as the saboteur mind, is going to tell us, well, you don't have the right degree for it, or you don't have the right certification. You don't have the experience there. Maybe you don't know the right people. You've never done this before. Or who are you to have this idea? Why will people believe you? They're not going to follow you or buy from you. So that saboteur mind is there to keep you safe, but more than that, it's going to keep you stuck, and it's definitely going to keep you away from your desire ever coming true. So it doesn't matter if you are ready or not. It doesn't matter if you have things, the right resources, if you haven't, made the proper space for it, or if you have the money or the time. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter, because all those things are conditions, and conditional mind thinking will always keep you stuck. Conditional mind thinking will always be the saboteur to your success. So we simply set aside the conditional mind thinking, because it is not real. It is an illusion, just there to keep you stuck. We do not want to give credence to it, put attention to it, look in its direction in any way. So when you set the definite plan, take action. Take action. You'll know there's action there. And then take more action. And then take more action. It does not matter what your lower mind says. It'll always argue the ability to succeed. I just had a client today in one of our coaching sessions. She said, there's something that I want to do. And my team, she has a team of people that support her in the creations of the products and the effects she brings into the world. My team thought it was a bad idea. My team doesn't want me to do it. My team said that I need to just stick with what I have right now and not add another thing to my plate. So sometimes the people around us become the saboteur as well. And so I said, tell me the idea. What is it? And her idea is absolutely brilliant. And I said, we have to begin at once. Let's do it. What can we do right now? We have an hour coaching session. Let's get 2 or 3 things done right now. So 1, she determined the domain she wants to launch this product under. 2nd, we connected her with a graphic artist. 3rd, she gathered all of her sketches and her ideas, and she already, sent them, and they're getting organized to give to the graphic artist. 4th, she's not going to listen to her team. She's like, they're already showing me that they don't believe in this, and that isn't the circle of friends that you need to be talking with about this idea. Just keep it here. It's a brilliant idea. I will not steer you wrong. We need to take immediate action and get that out there right now. So you need to take action immediately to put your plans into action. Do not wait. 5th step in the statement of desire. My lights keep going out at the office, and so that's kind of fun to wave your hand and the lights come on. Isn't that awesome? Thank you for lending your ear here on the Light Your Life podcast. I really adore you, and I'm so grateful that we're connected in this format. So here, the 5th step of the statement of desire from Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. If you do not yet have this book in your possession, get it. You will love it. And read it. Don't just put it on a bookshelf. You've got to read it. So the 5th step, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. So haven't we done these steps already, Tina Marie? Yes, but you have not written it down. So step 1 is fixing your mind, the exact amount of money that you intend to desire. Step 2, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for that money you desire. So that's, again, in a mental note, I can do this. I'll do this. This is what I'm going to do to create that money. And 3rd is to establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. All mental. Those 3 are mental. 4th, create a plan. Now, some of us plan in our mind and we don't yet write it down. Some of us do write things down whenever we're planning. So if you've already started to write down your plan, you are already into step 5. So step 4 is to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. Step 5 is taking the culmination of steps 1 through 4 and writing out a clear, concise statement of desire, the amount of money you intend to acquire. I intend to desire, as an example, $100,000. Name the time limit for its acquisition. I intend to possess $100,000 by, let's say, July 1st. State what you intend to give in return for the money. I intend to sell, and name a product or a service or something. And so in my case, I could say, I intend to sell Career Essentials. It's a product that we have on our website in return for the money. And describe clearly the plan of action through which you intend to accumulate it. This is where I would say you're going to have steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on, so that you can have one thing per line that you're going to execute on. And it may sound monotonous and drawn out. And for those of us that do not like to write things down and plan at that level, simply give yourself space, give yourself breath. If you start feeling drained, you get up, walk around, go take a jog, get outside, come back to it. Be consistent. And one of your actions, I would say, definitely on your plan is that I am going to daily read Think and Grow Rich. I'm going to put some of these words into my mind on a daily basis. And another suggestion is you do it first thing in the morning. That's when your soul and your mind is ripe and rich for the digestion of new ideas and growth. And a step could be that you're going to meet with your coach and discuss the next steps with your coach. You're going to check in with your coach once a day on the progress that you've made. You're going to, form a team around you of believers that are going to help you make this happen. You're going to, what this thing's, just chunk it down. Your steps 1 through however many steps that are required in order to reach your result. Then step 6 in the statement of desire, Think and Grow Rich. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after rising in the morning. As you read, this is in all caps in the book on purpose. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. This is the culmination of creation here. You must believe, you must see, you must feel, you must taste, you must smell, you must know. Because that faculty, the power of imagination, is what is going to create the outcome with you. It is a partnership of believing and creating and manifesting that is powerful. Your mind, your soul, your spirit, your nervous system is an amazingly powerful instrument. And so often, we forget our power. And so often we go to sleep thinking, not literal sleep, but sleep daily, right now, walking through our lives. We are asleep, not taking in the sheer genius, brilliance, phenomenal energy that we have to create. And we're either creating a life by design or not. And more than not, we're creating without design. We're just hoping. And hoping is not the answer. So again, step 6. This is discipline. I want you to make this happen and be precise, on point, disciplined. You're a champion. To do this, you're going to set a timer and you're going to put your statement of desire, print it out, put it multiple places within your home, put your statement of desire on your phone, make it your back screen of your phone, put your statement of desire as, a Post-it in your car's rear view, put your statement of desire everywhere and read it aloud. Napoleon Hill suggests twice in a day. I challenge you to do 3 or 4 times. Why? If we challenge ourselves to do 3 or 4 times a day, we will at least do 2. This is a science. This is not some kind of woo-woo. This stuff works when you work it. Upon rising, fresh mind, brand new day, brand new canvas. You want to employ and put upon this new day your very desire first thing. First thing I do is I say thank you to God for a brand new day, and then I read my statement of desire. It's on my nightstand. Read it aloud. Best way to read it, get your butt out of bed. Don't do it laying down with yourself propped up on your pillow. Put both feet on the floor, stand as though you mean it, straighten your spine, solid, put solidity on your feet and your knees and your hips. Take a deep breath in, push your chest out, shoulders back, chin up, and read your statement of desire as though you are commanding the universe as though you're on a mountaintop stating the very desire. And it doesn't matter what you're desiring. Everything you're desiring is very important. And it does not need to be something that's going to be monumental and save humanity. It could simply be that you want to have another $2,000 in your bank account in order to pay your mortgage on time. Whatever it is, please create a relationship of respect and honor and love toward your desire. Fall in love with it. Do not belittle it. Do not judge it. Do not make it frivolous or too, think that it's too little, and don't think that it's too big. There's no judgment on your statement of desire. It is yours alone. It is unique to you. And in that it's come through you, it is important. Hold it with that regard and read it aloud. I swear, there's so many challenges in this one statement. I mean, imagine you are an early riser, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and your spouse sleeps until 6. And you want to have this as a foundational knowing of yourself, commitment, perseverance, strength, courage. You've written out your statement of desire and it's there on your nightstand. I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to go to a location within your home. And if it has to be in the same room that you're in with your spouse, then so be it, it will be. And I want you to command, not whisper, not whisper. This is not timidity. You do not do this in a timid way. You are a genius. You are a creator. There is a God spark inside of you, and I want you to summon that God spark and speak it into existence, right? Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself to feel not at ease, because it will be very uncomfortable. It's meant to be. Because few people do exactly as they are told in the statement of desire because they bargain with it. They say, well, maybe I don't have to do it aloud every time. Maybe I'll just read it. It's aloud in my mind. No, this formula works because it's a formula. And if you bargain with it and juxtapose it or give condition to it or try to justify something else being in the place of what is actually written here in the words, you will not get your result. Do what is not only suggested, it's told. This is a formula. It's chemistry. It's alchemy. If the chemist knew what chemicals are supposed to go into the outcome to produce the solvent or to produce the solution or to have the chemical reaction, they decide this day I'm not going to put that one in, or this day I'm only going to put half of that one in. Do you think they're going to have the same result? Are they going to create what they knew they were going to create or had the vision to? No. Because they changed the formula, they will not have the same outcome. If you change this formula, you will not have the outcome, guaranteed. So this for you is challenge. You're listening to the podcast. You're listening to these words. If you do not yet have in your possession the Statement of Desire or Think and Grow Rich as a book, please do yourself an amazing benefit and purchase the book and read it. Second, follow the Statement of Desire to the T. It's a formula. You do not alter the formula. And I'm going to read what Napoleon has here written after he's stated in chapter 2. The chapter is desire, and we've read the 6 steps of the Statement of Desire. And he shares with us this. It is important that you follow these instructions described in these 6 steps. It is especially important that you observe and follow the instructions in the 6th paragraph, which is read your written statement aloud twice daily, just once before retiring at night and once after rising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. And he continues, you may complain that it is impossible for you to see yourself in possession of the money before you actually have it. Here is where a burning desire will come to your aid. If you truly desire money so keenly that your desire is an obsession, you will have no difficulty in convincing yourself that you will acquire it. The object is to want money and to become so determined to have it that you convince yourself you will have it. Only those who become money conscious ever accumulate great riches. Money consciousness means that the mind has become so thoroughly saturated with the desire for money that one can see oneself already in possession of it. To the uninitiated who has not been schooled in the working principles of the human mind, these instructions may appear impractical. It may be helpful to all who fail to recognize the soundness of the 6 steps, to know that the information they convey was received from Andrew Carnegie, who began as an ordinary laborer in the steel mills, but managed, despite his humble beginning, to make these principles yield him a fortune considerably more than $100 million. May it be a further help to know that the 6 steps here recommended were carefully scrutinized by the late Thomas A. Edison, who placed his stamp of approval upon them as being not only the 6 steps essential for the accumulation of money, but necessary for the attainment of any definite goal. Hopefully, you've received an amazing amount of inspiration, motivation, and information education from this podcast today. I wanted to share this with you because it's changed my life. It's been a foundational tenet of my life across the board, and I'm so grateful for my father having given me the book early on in my years. The more we dive into the richness that is inside of Think and Grow Rich as a book and as a text, the more we understand this is how creation works in any regard across the board, no matter where you are now in your life or where you're going. And we begin to see how the operating of life unfolds. Respect it, honor it, understand it, utilize it, and no longer fear money. There's so many of us that come into this world or were conditioned with the fear of money and what it means to us as some type of evil substance that will need to be protected from or guarded against. And yet, double-edged sword, we need it so much. So in understanding the Think and Grow Rich principles, we bring ourselves to an understanding of the law of circulation and what is truly working itself in and through us, and begin to work with it as opposed to against it. We become more receptive to the understanding and more gracious and partnering with it as opposed to thinking something broken inside of our lives. There is no lack unless we look in that direction. So my hope for you, my want, is that you find a new aliveness in your life, and whatever it is that you desire deeply within your soul, that burning desire, it is time for you to realize it. And then you'll realize the next and the next. And there is no arrival. And it's not as though we're hungry for more and more and more for the sake of trying to fill ourselves up with an identity that's going to be egotistical or mean. Life itself is a substance that's always growing. Why not participate with it? Why not grow with life and allow that more to come in and through us and be that instrument of energy that we flow into the world? Because the more that we not have, but the more that we create and we see, we appreciate, the more we become. The more we become and grow, the more we can give and contribute into the world. And the better the people we are, the more good we'll put into this world that so needs that so much right now. So much love, growth, patience, happiness, joy, empathy. The world's ready for it. And through Think and Grow Rich, I guarantee that's what you'll become. Keep me posted. Let me know how you do. If you have any questions, just reach out. And so this has been another episode of the Light Your Life podcast with a little study on Think and Grow Rich, a book that has changed my life and I hold dear. Hopefully this has been of help to you. Feel free to share this podcast with anybody you know and love and spread the word, because together we get to light other people's lives too with wisdom that helped us. Until next time, I'm Tina Marie St. Cyr, and I'm grateful for you. Have a great day.